Hey kids, what time is it? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. There's no audio. I can't hear you. Welcome to another Trippy Food live stream, and one that brings Doodle coming into the room. Today's live stream, we're going to call this one a grab bag because it's a little bit of everything. But hi, Doodle. Oh, he's all excited because he knows he's getting a snack. So I'm calling it a grab bag because essentially what we have, in the past we've numbered them. Good morning, Janice, or good afternoon, Janice, sorry. In the past, what we've done is we've numbered them, numbered the live streams. But these are going to be more specific because if I do a themed one, it's going to have a name like the IKEA one or the, et cetera. Assembling a meal from IKEA or spending my paycheck at Whole Foods. So these, the ones that are like a jumble of everything else, we're going to call them grab bags. But essentially these are, I don't want to say leftovers. They're not really leftovers, but they are the snacks that we have today are basically ones that I bought for other streams, and I'll cover those in a second. And again, as we said earlier, now we're doing an alcoholic beverage and a non-alcoholic beverage on every live stream. So we have a really unique and different kind of selection here today. So John Thunderstorm Paranormal King. Well, so John, your name has changed since yesterday. So yesterday it was Thunderstorm Enchiladas, and now it's John Thunderstorm Paranormal King. So before it didn't have the John King in it. Now it has the John King, but now you've added in the paranormal. So it's a changing thing. Keep it fresh, right? Change it up every once in a while. Why not? So welcome, John King. Janice had to put the whole thing in there because she put the @ sign in, but it's still John King. So welcome, John, to the room. My guess is that you are sipping on an ice-cold Coors Banquet, probably. So how's everybody doing on this Saturday? We're experiencing, I guess you could call it a heat wave. Some people would just call it California. But it's in the 90s. It's supposed to be in the 90s today. Hey, Stoner Kitchen in the room. Welcome, Stoner. It's supposed to hit like 96 today, I think, something along those ways. Farther in the valley, it's supposed to go up into the hundreds, low hundreds, and this is supposed to last for another maybe 2 or 3 days. So it's pretty warm out right now. 112 here yesterday. Yeah, Arizona's pretty hot too. But yeah, it's going to be September next week, and it's still crazy. But that's the price you pay when you live in sunny California. That's one of the prices you pay. You pay a lot of prices, like high gas prices and things along those lines. So hope everybody is doing well today. We'll wait for the room to pick up a little bit. It looks like we have 7 people in here, although I only see 1, 2, 3 in the chat. So we may have other people that are standing by, but actually not giving their greeting, giving their hello. 11,000 degrees here in Reading. Not likely unless maybe the earth has opened up and there's fire and brimstone bubbling up from under the ground. Not likely. Maybe 110. 110 would be more believable. Claudia, Mrs. Trippy Food, was in San Francisco yesterday. She said it was pretty warm. It was supposed to be in the 70s there, and it was actually probably in the 80s. It's only 75 degrees in Harbor City. Janice, we're all coming over. Make sure that the pool is open and ready to go. Doodle is like scratching my arm up for a treat. All right, Doodle, I'm going to give you a treat, but we're just going to start you off, okay? Just going to start you off. I give you the last piece of chicken. Gets all excited. There you go. There you go, Doodle. And there he goes. No loyalty, none whatsoever. We will bring Doodle back later. He will be back later, I'm sure. He'll come back in for some more snacks as we go, and we'll introduce him to everybody. So the room's picking up. It looks like by that number, which I have no idea what that means, it looks like there was 8, now there's 7. Somebody left. Now there's 6. A lot of people are leaving. That's too bad. Did a little ghost hunting last night. Regardless if you believe or not, it was pretty fun. Oh, I'm sure it was fun. I absolutely, think it's fun. So a little story on that, Stoner, is I was in San Diego, and I don't know if you're familiar with the Whaley House, but the Whaley House is supposedly one of the most haunted houses in the United States. It's I don't know how much you could call it a house. I think the bottom floor initially there was a grocery on one side and a courtroom on the other side, but it was owned by the same family, and but it's generally regarded as the one of the most haunted houses in the United States. So I was in there one day and I was talking to the docent that was downstairs, and she was talking about how it's been on several of those shows like Ghost Hunters or something. And I said, oh, so they were here? And she said, yes. And while they were upstairs staging things happening, there were actual events happening downstairs. I'm like, okay. So kind of fun. But so Starter, I'm just out of curiosity, do you believe in paranormal activity, or is it one of those things where you're the kind of control? Because I have a friend who is part of a paranormal investigation group, but he's there because he is the skeptic. So he's the one that doesn't believe in any of that stuff. And the reason he's there is because if somebody says, oh my God, look what I just found, he's the one that's supposed to go, no, that's not real. And so the assumption is if they actually find something real, paranormal and everything, he'll go, yep. So I wasn't sure if that was that's what you did there. I do ghost hunting myself, Stoner Kitchen, but here at my sister's house in Reading. How old is the house, John? Is it like an old Victorian house or anything? Those have lots of ghosts. Julie, daughter Julie, who may or not join us later, she, in the previous house, not the one that she lives in now, the one that she lived in previous, when she moved in, there was an old bassinet, a very old bassinet up in a corner of the attic. That was one of the creepiest things I've ever seen in my life. I have no idea if there's anything paranormal about it. It was just creepy that there was this old bassinet up in a corner of the attic. So, yeah, but like you said, it is fun. Hey, Lynn 801 in the room. Welcome, Lynn. Lynn, I don't think we've seen you in a while, have we? I don't think we've seen you in the past few weeks, but welcome. We have Canada in the room already, and it's still early. So, look, he's back. Doodle is back for more snacks. Doodle, you got to pace yourself, man. You got to pace yourself. You're a snackaholic. Poor Doodle. So again, we have I guess we can start covering the snacks and beverages. We have 5 snacks and 2 beverages. So we'll start with the beverages. So for our non-alcoholic beverage from Trader Joe's, sparkling watermelon juice. Now, I'm going to say where these are from only because Trader Joe's has a central distribution place, but their foods and beverages come from all over the world. And so they come from different places. So this is Trader Joe's sparkling watermelon juice with added ingredients. I'll bet that's sugar. Let's see. Oh, it says 0 grams of added sugar. So that's a no. It's a low-calorie food. So I wonder what the ingredients are. Ingredients: watermelon juice, carbon dioxide for the bubbles, citric acid. I don't know why you would need citric acid, but you know. Oh, acidifer, ascorbic acid to maintain color. So that's the extra stuff. So again, it's distributed by Trader Joe's in Monrovia, California, but this is a product of Vietnam. So in Vietnam, we drank lots of watermelon. That's the part that got cut out. Nobody heard that part. All right, so we're going to try Trader Joe's sparkling watermelon juice, and our alcoholic beverage is from. What was the brewery again? Hardywood Park Craft Brewery in Richmond, Virginia. And this is Speculoos Cookie Butter Beer. Imperial Golden Ale with toasted coconut, vanilla beans, and other natural flavors. That sounds good. Sounds really desserty, like a nice dessert beer or something that you would use to make a beer float. They do give a nod to Trader Joe's because apparently Trader Joe's Speculoos cookies are legendary. I've never had them. Made with whole vanilla beans, milk, sugar, milk. Is this milk sugar? Not milk and sugar, not milk, sugar, milk sugar, and toasted coconut. This full-bodied ale pairs with just about any treat, topped with your favorite deliciously unusual cookie butter spread from our friends at Trader Joe's. So I have a feeling it's going to taste desserty. Usually for desserty type beers, they're stouts and porters. So it's a little unusual to have an ale. You can kind of tell that it's going to be kind of thick because it's not as clear. You can't really see through the bottle. the way you can. Like it's like a stout or porter in that sense. There's a lot of suspensions in there, I think. We'll see. Also, since it is a kind of generic bottle cap, we have brought Ariel out of retirement, and we're going to use Ariel today. Let's see. We have been ill, not COVID, but better now. Good. Thank you, 801. So we have missed you here, and I'm glad you are getting better. Peter Griffin is in the room. A little early, Peter. Well, early for us, late for you, because it's probably what about I want to say it's like 9 p.m. there, something like that. 9 p.m. in the UK, the U of K. Let's see. They have snuck back there, buddy. Got to put them back. Reference to show. Oh, okay. 2-story house with double carport. Well, John, it's not the size of the house; it's when the house was built. That's the big deal for ghost hunting, unless somebody was brutally murdered there or something. Let's see, IPA. Well, IPAs are they can be fruity. IPAs generally have a really strong taste from hops, which are a little bit bitter, and they would not. IPAs, I don't think would really go well with a like a dessert kind of thing, like maybe with something fruity, maybe like with a fruit pie. It might go good with a fruit pie. IPA might be good with a fruit pie or something. But anything like chocolatey or ice creamy or something like that, I've got to go with a stout or a porter. So, but this one could change all that. So we'll see. We'll find out. Hey, Justin Reeves is in the room. Welcome, Justin. I was just talking about, you wrote IPA. I was just talking about it, and I neglected to acknowledge the fact that you came into the room. So welcome, Justin. Good to see you again. Ales are usually high in sugar. Yeah, I think, I don't know how it works with beers. I imagine it works the same with beers as it does with wines. I know that as in the fermentation process, it starts out with sugars and it ends up with alcohol, and so the fermentation period is what determines whether it's going to have high alcohol or high sugar content. If I'm not mistaken, like Zinfandels have a higher sugar content and a lower alcohol content, and I don't know if that works the same with beers or not, but it usually has a lot to do with the fermentation period. If you stop the fermentation at a certain point, then you have more sugars, and if you let it go, then you have more alcohol. I think that's how it. The house was built in 1985. Maybe not a lot of ghosts. Check the crawl spaces. See what's underneath there. This is California. I don't think there's a lot of basements in California, and a lot of the northern states have basements, but California doesn't. Texas does not have a lot of basements, but there's a very good reason why Texas doesn't have a lot of basements, and that's because a lot of the state of Texas is built on limestone, and there are limestone aquifers that go underneath it. So the limestone is relatively soft, but you have these massive caves underneath and these underground rivers where they actually get water from these aquifers. And the problem is, if you try to dig a basement, you can dig down and hit solid limestone, or if you decide I'm going to chance it anyways and you continue to go, you might just go like a few more feet and you put a hole in the ceiling of an aquifer and everything. So that's why you don't see a lot of basements in Texas, at least in hill country in south of there. Maybe farther up, maybe like around Amarillo or something up there in the plains, maybe, but where they need them because of tornadoes. So. But a house built in 1985, I don't know how much paranormal activity you're going to have in a house from 1895. So maybe go down. Maybe I don't know. Does paranormal activity searches work outdoors? Because like if there's an old river or something, then maybe that would work. Pale ale with mango sorbet. Yeah, I think that would work, Ryan. I think that would work really well. Or any sorbet, because sorbets are very fruity. I think pale ale might work with that. You're right. I remember a ghost hunting group when I lived in Texas. Yeah, I'll bet there's a lot of ghosts in Texas. We served that in some room restaurant I cooked at. Hi, everyone. Hey, Colin Collins is in the room. Welcome, Colin. Good to have you back. We'll be going to the Birdcage Theater soon. The Birdcage Theater. I'm not familiar with that. Is that like the theater that was on the movie The Birdcage? Is that what you're referring to? Because I'm not sure what the Birdcage Theater is. I'm not familiar with it. Oh, anyways, let's continue with our hit parade. No doodle, one snack, one snack per hour. We've got to keep you. We've got to keep you a lean, mean fight machine. All right, so let's start our snacks. So the first one is from Trader Joe's, and these are cauliflower crisp snacks with cauliflower, brown rice, coconut milk, seeds, and seasoning. Actually sounds good. It sounds like it's good for you, but it also sounds good. Ingredients: cauliflower, brown rice, flour, tapioca starch, coconut milk powder, let's see, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, mustard powder, sea salt, garlic powder, onion powder. Sounds really, really good. So these, again, are distributed by Trader Joe's in Monrovia, California, but these are a product of Canada. Number two, is it beer week this time? Well, Colin, we decided probably about a month ago, maybe more than a month ago, we decided that every episode now is going to be a non-alcoholic beverage and an alcoholic beverage. So it is Trippy Food Beer Night, because every live stream is going to be a Trippy Food Beer Night, but also a Trippy Food Beverage Night. And I covered those at the beginning, but we're gonna come back to it as we drink it. So you haven't missed anything really. Birdcage Theater in Tombstone, Arizona. Yeah, but I'm not familiar. Does that have some historical significance, especially being that it's in Tombstone? To make the pale ale sorbet, we used a cold griddle and shaved it off in long loops. We filled the loops of frozen pale ale with mango sorbet and served in an ice cold metal plate. That sounds good, Ryan. That sounds really good. All right, number two on our hit parade. These were purchased at Whole Foods. So if you remember our Whole Foods live stream, these were purchased for that, but we had so many snacks that we just put these aside, and we're going to be serving them now. So their motto is beautiful on the inside. It's "Hello, I'm ugly." I think it's called The Ugly Company is the name of the company. And these are upscaled peaches. Now, by what upscaled means is a lot of food that is considered ugly gets wasted, right? So like grocery stores, they're not going to put out food that doesn't look quite, like produce and stuff. They're going to put out produce that looks quite right. But it's edible. There's nothing wrong with it and everything. And so this company Upcycled, what they call upcycles, which is they take bad-looking food and they make it into something else. So this is dried and diced peaches. There are 6 dried and diced peaches in here. So the Ugly Company is in Kingsburg, California. So we're going to try that. That's number 2. No card today. No, John, of course we're going to do cards, but we do cards when we open the stuff. So right now we're just doing a review. No cards during review. We will do cards when we, so again, the cards he's referring to are Food and Drink, Ultimate Foodie Quiz, Trivia, and if I'm, for full disclosure, we've gone through these already, and so we are going through other trivia questions, and we're pretending like we're reading the. So all of you play along. For all the new people that come in afterwards, they don't know. Let's just pretend that we're reading out the cards. We're not. We have a list of trivia questions. Now, last week we did trivia questions from TV shows. There were some like food and travel related questions from TV shows. I do have some of those left over. We'll be doing some of those today. We also added some in. So today we've added in trivia questions that pertain to previous Trippy Food episodes. So every question. Every new question that was added in is going to pertain to a Trippy Food episode. So like if you don't know the answer to the question, you'll be able to find it if you look quickly through our episodes. So that should be a fun thing, just like changing it up every once in a while. Let's see. A Birdcage Theater is where the longest poker game was held and supposed to be one of the most haunted places in America. Oh, cool. Sorry, Brother Val, I get corn-fused. Well, not a worry. We explained it. That's why we're here. All right, back to our snacks. This one also from Trader Joe's. This is crispy. Janice, check me on this. Check me on the pronunciation because I know I'm going to mess this up. This is crispy, crunchy, spicy, Mochi rice nuggets. Did I say that right? Mochi. Now, here's something interesting, right? So here are these Mochi rice nuggets. Big smiles on their faces. They're gonna get eaten. It looks like there's fire on the top of their head because they are flame roasted, so they're on fire. And they're going to get eaten. But they have big smiles on their faces. I can't, for the life of me, understand. I see so many ads. I think the last one I saw was there was an Eggo product that had the waffles, big smiles on their faces. These waffles are going to get eaten. But they have these big smiles on their faces. There's a cereal, too. I think it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch. big smiles on their faces, they're going to get eaten. Probably the most, I want to say horrifying, the most horrifying example of this is there was a poster from back in, it was for sausages back in the, I think, 1800s from Paris. And it is a pig who is slicing himself open to make sausage. Big smile on his face, and he's slicing himself into slices to make sausage. So I don't get it. I don't know, like, you go to a restaurant where they have beef and there's a smiling cow on there. I don't get it. Why do smiling animals, you're going to eat them? I would not be smiling if I was going to get eaten. But anyways, these spicy, crunchy, crispy, crunchy, spicy mochi rice nuggets from Trader Joe's. These contain rice, palm oil, sea salt, black pepper, white pepper, chipotle powder, habanero pepper powder. Whoa! Red chili pepper powder. There's a lot of pepper in there. Dried citrus peel, sunflower lecithin, paprika, cumin powder, ground cardamom, ginger powder, cinnamon powder, dried sea lettuce. Sea lettuce is probably like a seaweed or something, and sencho powder. May contain traces of soy wheat. Yeah, it's okay. Again, distributed from Monrovia, California, product of Japan. So they sound crunchy. That sounds good. I'm gonna try those. I got the crunches. You're great. Yeah, I can be trained. I can get there, Janice. So thank you for keeping me honest. The Birdcage Theater has had 26 people killed inside. Oh, that would prevent me from going, I think, but that's okay. So it would be haunted, I would think. John, the one in the poker game was Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp. I'll be your Huckleberry. The Cinnamon Toast Crunch characters are also cannibals. They eat each other while they are smiling. Yeah, I just don't get it. And the commercials is always that one trying to run away from the cannibal Toast Crunch friends. Yeah, it's like being in a cult. You know you're going to get eaten, and like one of them goes, no. You know, not a smile on his face, trying to run away and everything. I think there was one on this one. Yeah, this guy here. This guy here is like, oh no, oh no. The other two are smiling like, oh yes. So that's kind of weird. Okay, this snack, this is from El Sabroso. El Sabroso, Snacks Delicioso. Established 1978 in Los Angeles. So these are local, Los Angeles, California. And these are frituras de maíz, corn chips, chili and limon flavored. They look kind of nasty. And I don't find that really surprising because these are from the dollar store. These are from the 99 cents only store. And the ingredients are corn vegetable oil. There's a lot of vegetables: sunflower, safflower, canola, corn, cottonseed, and or rice. Salt, spices, citric acid, maltodextrin, red 40 lake. So the only thing that's really bad is the color in that red 40 lake. Everything else is pretty standard stuff. Produced in a facility that uses milk, wheat, and soy. So again, these are from California. El Sabroso, Snacks Delicioso, corn chips. From the dollar store. And then also from the dollar store, and last but not least, hey, Tom, you are never late. It is 1:23. You've missed 23 minutes. We're still going through the introduction of what we're covering today. You're just on time. So welcome, Tom. Always good to see you. Glad you could make it. Kumquat Nation in the house. Yes. I was just going to say I bought those at the 99. Not my favorite. I have a feeling they're not going to be my favorite either. But you know, like I said, one of the extra things that I bought for when we did the Dollar Dining live stream, and that's what we're going to do. This was also from the Dollar Dining episode or live stream. We didn't get to because we had too many snacks. And these are Now and Later. I think Now and Later has been around for a long time because I think I remember Now and Later being around when we were kids, but these are Extreme Sour. I wish I had like I could put an echo on that or something. Extreme Sour. Now and Later, Extreme Sour. Let's see, corn syrup, sugar, palm oil, citric acid, malic acid, sodium citrate, pectin, corn starch, fumaric acid, salt, egg whites, artificial flavors, lecithin, potato starch. I don't see anything that would be like really sour. I don't know where the sour comes from. It has to be some sort of chemical. Contains eggs and soy. Did I even say soy? I didn't say soy. I don't know why they say it contains soy. I didn't read soy. Oh yeah, soy lecithin, that's right. This is distributed by the Ferrara Candy Company in Terrace, Illinois. but it is a product of Mexico. All right, that is our hit parade. Let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with our non-alcoholic beverage. I'm going to open that one first. We'll do a couple of snacks. We'll open our beer, and then we'll open the rest of the snacks. Does it sound okay with you guys? If it's okay with you guys, that's how we'll do it. Okay, John is talking to Tom. Be watching with a refreshing glass of Dorito Dew. Dorito Dew. Oh, that's what Tom made a Dorito Dew, I believe. Reminds me of Mike and Ike's. I think these are more like, they're not like Mike and Ike's, they're more like Starburst. So they're like little chewy fruit things, and they're individually wrapped. We'll see when we open it up. But to me, they look more like it's going to be like a sour Starburst than Mike and Ike's. Mike and Ike's are the little pill-shaped ones, you know, like Good and Plenty, or like I think Mike and Ike's is the competitor to Good and Fruity, because I think Good and Fruity they might not even make Good and Fruity anymore. I think Good and Fruity and Mike and Ike's were almost the same thing. All right, so let's start with our Trader Joe's Sparkling Watermelon Juice. That sounds really good. And let's read a card. So this deck has been shuffled. I will grab the first one off the top of the deck. This one is a general trivia question, so it's not one of the TV foodie ones left over, and it's not one of the new Trippy Food's Been There ones. So the question is, what is the name of the Swiss dish created by heating cheese and scraping off the melted part? Once again, what is the name of the Swiss dish created by heating cheese and scraping off the melted part? So that is going to go on the cheese melter. We're going to leave that on the cheese melter there, and we're going to scrape off the melted part once that gets hot. And let's go to open our beverage. Ooh, nice watermelon smell. That's good. I don't know why I was expecting this to be redder. It's kind of an orange color. I mean, I didn't see anything like you would think if they were putting mango or something like that, it would be more orange. I don't know why it's like an orangey color instead of a red color, but. They don't add sugar, but it's really sweet. There's a lot of bubbles in it. I don't think it doesn't taste like if you've ever had watermelon agua fresca. It's not like, it doesn't have that watermelon kick. It tastes watered down. It's almost a little spicy, but I didn't see they put any kind of spices in there. Oh, okay. So the thing is, they added citric acid. Citric acid you're going to get from like lemons, limes, stuff like that. And so I think that's what gives it the tangy taste that you typically wouldn't have from watermelon. I think it kind of takes away from it a little bit. Maybe citric acid helps preserve things, but it also gives it that kind of sour or tangy taste. And I think it takes away from a little bit, especially when you look at the front, you just see the watermelon. It says sparkling watermelon juice, and your mind just goes to sparkling watermelon juice. But then you get that sour, tangy, citrusy taste in there, and it's just a little bit confusing. It's like they added something else that they probably should have put on the outside. That's why this is going to get a thumbs in the middle for me, because I was expecting it to be just like watermelon and carbonated watermelon juice, and expected to have that kick, and it doesn't because they added the citric acid to it. So for me, unfortunately, it's going to get a thumbs in the middle. It's not bad, but I think they should have, unless, like I said, they added it as a preservative, I think they should have left it alone and not put the citric acid in there, because it just kind of takes away from it a little bit. So yeah, again, thumbs in the middle. Let's go back to our card. And our card the question was, what is the name of the Swiss dish created by heating cheese and scraping off the melted part? Let's see what our answers were. Janice Yamanaka says raclette. Old guy in Colorado, Tom, says fonduquat. He may not be accurate, but he is funny, and I think that's the important thing. Let's see. Anybody thinking of ordering the Flaming Mountain Dew? Janice, I saw that. I saw that Matt Zion was talking about that, and he said that it's one of those things where it's going to go on sale at a certain time on the website, and he wasn't even going to try because he was expecting that like within a minute it will all be gone, which is typical. So I have seen some people already post on that. My guess is they're people with a lot of clout in the food review industry, and they probably got a preview of it. Little folks like us, we probably would not be able to get that so much. So we're just going to have to wait to see if one shows up or something. But I think on our level, it's pretty much unattainable. The bots get it first. Okay, Fonduquat. Let's see, was there some other ones? Let's see, there was not. Fonduquat is a real thing, Janice Aminaka. I doubt it. The correct answer was, in fact, raclette. And raclette has been, who said that? Janice said raclette. Janice, you were absolutely correct. Give yourself 32 points. And everybody else, give yourself 15.5 points. So raclette has been around for a long time. There is special equipment that they use to melt the cheese. It's usually on a big wheel. And there's special equipment that they use to melt the cheese. I've actually been to a raclette party. So my brother Philip, who may or may not pop on today, I was at his house in New Jersey when he lived in New Jersey one time, and they did a raclette party. And basically, in addition to melting the cheese, they had things to put in the cheese, sort of like fondue. But the process is different. It's not like you put it in a pot and melt it. It's like you're melting the cheese, then you're scraping the melted cheese off. It's like an iron, I think, that they do this on. But there has been mentions of it in medieval texts, back in the 1200s, mentions from Swiss convents about melting cheese, melted cheese. So it's been around for a long time. It is raclette, and this will go back into the deck. Let's see. I get minus 1,000 points. No, John. Everybody else got, I think, what did I say, 15.5 points. So you get 15.5 points as well. And then if anybody else doesn't want their 15.5 points, then they go to you, John. So that's cumulative. Make sure you track these two. Hey, the Dusty Beard is in the room. The Dusty Beard. It's almost like half of ZZ Top, the rhythm section of ZZ Top. And Mr. Hill. Welcome to Dusty Beard. I don't recall seeing you here before. You might have been, and my memory is just slipping because that'll happen sometimes. The Dusty Beard, what brings you to Trippy Food? Have you been lurking in the background for a while? This is the first time you've come into the chat, or are you new to the channel? And if you are new to the channel, what brings you here? Where are you from? Where do you call home? So as long as I'm just gonna sidetrack here for a second. So I am an obsessively curious person. So if I hear something and I don't know it, it drives me nuts until I find out. So one of the things I was curious about was in the movie Airplane, where Robert Stack is running off this litany of terms for the leader. So he's going like the big cheese, the head honcho, the top banana. So I was curious where these phrases come from, and it's relevant because they're food terms, right? Top banana, big cheese, right? Maybe not head honcho so much. So I had to look them up, and I had to look up the origins of these phrases, and it's interesting because none of them have anything to do with food whatsoever. Seen you with Matt and been watching your stuff. Well, thank you, Dusty Beard. Welcome to the channel. Where do you call home? What's the closest metropolitan area to where you are? Where do you call home? So none of them, it turns out, has anything to do with food whatsoever. So as far as the top banana goes, the top banana, back in vaudeville and burlesque days, when they had comedians on stage, they usually had 3 comedians. So the first comedian was the third banana, the second comedian was the second banana, and the headliner comedian, was the top banana. Now, the term banana is kind of weird. There is some historical information about one comedian that did a lot of stuff with bananas, or he would give bananas to people when they told a good joke. So maybe that's how banana figured into him. But the headliner in vaudeville or burlesque, the headlining comedian was referred to as the Big Cheese. I mean, I'm sorry, the Top Banana had nothing to do with bananas whatsoever. Now, Top Cheese is, it was kind of an alliteration of I don't think it was Hindu, but it was an Indian word in India, when India was colonized by the British, when it was a colony, there was it's sort of like the like Spanglish, right? Which is like a jumble of English and Spanish put together, and there was that native Indian language and English put together. They called the leader the chiz, CHIZ. So and chiz was like a thing, right? So if it was a big thing, or the leader or something was a big thing, then he was the Big Chiz. But in England, they took the word chiz and heard it as cheese, and so it became the Big Cheese. So it has nothing to do with cheese whatsoever. And then the head honcho, that's from Japanese. So the Japanese, when they were in prison camps and internment camps, they would use a Japanese word. I don't know if it's native Japanese or Japanese American word, but it was a word for leader, which is honcho. And so head honcho is actually it's actually a duplication. It's not necessary. It's redundant. So head honcho means leader. So honcho is leader. Head honcho, So that's where head honcho, Top Banana, and Big Cheese comes from. I hope that you were entertained by that, but it was driving me nuts until I figured it out. Richmond, Virginia. I'm trying to remember. There was a really cool restaurant I ate at in Richmond, Virginia. It had the word farm in the title, and I can't remember it, but it was really, really good. Really kind of a small place, really kind of cool place. Honcho is the Japanese word for boss. Yes, Janice, thank you. I think that's what I found. Louisiana going to get hit by a major hurricane Category 4. Is it Category 4 already? And I think from what I saw, New Orleans was a direct path of that, so that's not going to be good. It's not going to be good whatsoever. So, again, welcome, Dusty Beard. Thank you. Welcome from welcome to Richmond, Virginia, to the room. Pocky Chip Mountain Dew. Matt Zion on Reckless Eating did stuff with vodka where he would ferment stuff in vodka. So he would make different flavored vodkas. So he put Cheez-Its in vodka. He would put popcorn in vodka, things along those lines. It sounds like maybe, John, you could do the same thing, is just take a Mountain Dew, put some Pocky chips in there. Which Pocky chips would you use? I recommend the ghost pepper ones. They're really hot, but they're delicious. So if you're going to do that, I would do it with the Pocky ghost pepper ones. And then just put it in a maybe crunch them up. Put them in a bottle of Mountain Dew for a week or so. Try to screw the cap back on so you don't lose so much of the carbonation, and then after a week, strain that out and then try it and see what happens. I would recommend that. So if you're going to do Pocky Chip Mountain Dew, do it that way. It opens up a whole world of possibilities. Okay, so Doodle is here now. He wants another snack. It's only been half an hour, but that's okay. So let's introduce him to everybody who has not met. This is the famous Doodle, the Prince of Dogness. Hi, Doodle. Doodle, say hi to everybody. Over there. Say hi. Say hi. Over there. Over there, Doodle. Over there. There you go. You're like, I just want a snack, right? You just want a snack, right? Okay, we'll get you a snack. All right, Doodle. We're going to try the other chicken ones. These are the Newman's Own chicken ones. Now, you notice they don't look much like chicken. They look like cigars, but he likes it just the same. And off he goes. No loyalty, none whatsoever. All right, the Prince of Dogness, Doodle, has left the room. All right, so let's dig into our snacks. We might as well start in the same order we had them in. I'm going to do them now and later, not now, because if they're going to be sour, I don't want that to be the last flavor in my mouth. So we're going. I think we're going up in terms of how hot or spicy or sour or whatever they're going to be. I think. Chumley saw Doodle and said, "Woof." Hey, Doodle. Chumley says, "Woof." He's very quiet. He doesn't bark a lot. So again, Trader Joe's cauliflower crisp snack. I don't know if these would go good with a dip. I don't know if it'd go with a piece of cheese on or something on it, but we're about to find out. Let's read a card. Tom, just tell them that Doodle says, hey, you know. All right. So our question is, and this one is a Trippy food question. So you can get the answer by looking at our previous Trippy food videos. All right. The question is, what is the name of and where is the world's smallest park? Again, the question, what is the name of and where is the world's smallest park? So we're going to put that out in the grass, out in the sunshine, let that enjoy the open air, and open up our Trader Joe's cauliflower crisp snack. Pocky Doo would be painful. Maybe. Hi, Doodle. No, you cannot have another snack. You got to pace yourself, brother. You got to pace yourself. You want to look like a pug? No offense to any pugs out there. Doodle, I don't think you can have this. I think there's onion powder in here. Mustard powder, garlic powder, and onion powder. You can't have this. This is bad for you. They look like little cookies. Look at that. They look like little cookies. They're very crunchy. Well, it does say crisps, so no false advertising there. Wow, interesting flavor. To me, it almost tastes like broccoli rather than cauliflower. I'm laughing in advance. These are interesting. These, I don't know what you would do with it. Maybe like a tiny piece of cheese on each one. Maybe. They're really unique. I really can't compare them to anything else. It's kind of like maybe just eat them as is. Wow, those are tasty. I like those. That's a thumbs up right there. Trader Joe's cauliflower crisp snack. And these, again, are from Canada. But really good. Thumbs up. Little fake watermelon juice. I got the thumbs in the middle. And let's go back and look at our card. So the question was, what is the name of and where is the world's smallest park? So the answers were, let's see. Tom says, Kumquat Ends Park in Portland. Janice says, Mill Ends Park in Portland, Oregon. Lynn801 says, Mill Ends Park in Portland. Peter Griffin says, how small is it? It was so small. It was so small that you needed a microscope to see it. I blew my Johnny Carson joke. I tried. It is so small that when I went there for the first time, because I heard about it, I heard that the world's smallest park was in Portland, so I decided to check it out. So when I went there for the first time, it is on Nato Parkway, and I parked the car near where it was supposed to be. So I get out, I walk down to it's by Tom McCall Waterfront Park. So I'm standing on the street and I'm looking out, and I see this green belt, this big green belt, which is Tom McCall Waterfront Park. It's huge. I mean, it goes for like, I want to say like maybe a half a mile. And I'm looking at it going, there is no way. How could this possibly be the world's smallest park? There's no way that's the world's smallest park. And then I look down on the median strip in between, and I'm like, no. And yes, it is in the median strip. It was originally like a stone circle that was supposed to hold a light post, but they never put the light post in. And then so back in the 1970s, somebody who worked at I think it was a newspaper that was nearby, decided that he was going to put plants in there, and take care of it after he died because he took care of it so long. They officially declared it a park, but it is tiny, tiny, tiny. So my question to you, the ones that got it right, is: did you look up the world's smallest park, or did you go onto Trippy Food and look for, world's smallest park on Trippy Food, or did you remember having seen the Trippy Food episode? So seriously, that's a serious question. So let me know if that's the case. Those of you who got it right, give yourself 18 points. Those of you who got it wrong, give yourself 19 points. And those of you who didn't answer at all, you get 20 points. Hey, Everything Spicy is in the room. And I don't recognize your name, Everything Spicy, but people change their name all the time, as John Thunderstorm Paranormal King will tell you. Everything Spicy, what brings you to Trippy Food? Have you been a lurker, like a long-time listener, first-time caller? What brings you to the room, and where are you from? What is your closest metropolitan area? Olga, wow, I don't see how that can be classified as a park, though. Yeah, it is. It's tiny. It is really tiny. But it had an official classification. I think somebody argued that. So I think that it is listed in Guinness Book of World Records as the world's smallest park, and somebody had argued that and said, it's not a park, it's not a park. A park has a fence around it, and then so somebody actually put a tiny fence around it. But it is still classified as a park. The city has declared it a city park. It has an actual classification as a city park and is considered a park, and that's why it's in the Guinness Book of World Records. I saw it on your video, but I didn't remember the name and where. We saw the episode. We had to look up the name of the park. Okay, looked it up. All right, looked it up. Lynn looked it up. That's okay. So yeah, it's a very, very small episode. Very maybe like a couple minutes long. And I think it was a New Year's episode, probably 5 or 6 years ago, maybe even longer than that. It's a hole in the wall park. It is literally it's a hole in the median strip park. That's what it is. Seen you before hanging with Matt. Seen you at my place a time or two as well. Oh, okay, Everything Spicy. I'm going to have to figure out who you are so that I know that I was at your place. So, okay. All right, so let's see. We did the card. Time for another snack. Let me move these aside so I don't remember. So I don't forget which one I did. So again, these are beautiful on the inside. Hello, I'm ugly. 100% upcycled peaches. Again, not recycled peaches, upcycled peaches, which is basically they were ugly peaches. And so what they did was they dried them and diced them. There's 6 of them in here. And it's a way of not wasting food, which is kind of a cool thing. Except they're probably expensive because I got them at Whole Foods. And again, these are from the Ugly Company in Kingsburg, California. So let's read a card. And so this is going to be one of our leftover TV food and travel questions. What is the name of the dish Oscar serves to Felix on the last episode of the original TV series The Odd Couple? Again, what is the name of the dish Oscar serves to Felix on the last episode of the original TV series The Odd Couple? So, because it's The Odd Couple, I'm just going to throw it down there. I don't care if we make a mess. Felix will clean it up. And let's go up on our snack. So, by the way, welcome, Everything Spicy. Nice to have you here. And almost a spicy smell, but the ingredients are, I think it's just peaches. Ingredients, peaches. It doesn't smell like peaches. It has a really strange smell. That looks like something you would sprinkle on salad. And maybe after we eat it, we'll find out that it is something you would sprinkle on salad. Well, one thing's for certain, it is ugly. Now, it's dried, but it's not jerky dried. It still tastes fresh. I mean, it still has that fresh, fruity taste. And the more you chew it, the more peach you get out of it. This would be really good on breakfast cereal or oatmeal. I think I want to put this on oatmeal. These are really good. That's a thumbs up. That's a thumbs way up. Really, really good. So again, if you're looking for these, I got these at Whole Foods. Let's go back and revisit our card. Well, do I need to let this simmer for a few minutes, because I am not seeing any answers to this. The question was, what is the name of the dish Oscar serves to Felix on the last episode of the original TV series The Odd Couple? Now, Tom says Kumquat Linguine. Now, the reason that's funny is because if anybody is familiar with The Odd Couple, this is not from the TV show, this is from the movie. Felix comes home and Oscar says, I made dinner. And I'm sorry, Oscar comes home. Felix says, I made dinner. And Oscar says, oh, you made spaghetti. And then Felix laughs and goes, it's not spaghetti, it's linguine. And then Oscar takes the whole bowl, throws it against the wall, and he says, now it's garbage. So that's why that's funny that he wrote Kumquat Linguine, because that's what I remember from the Odd Couple movie with Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, where Walter Matthau throws the bowl of linguine against the wall and says, now it's garbage. Egg Saronis. John King, I'm going to assume that is a guess. Egg Saronis, because nobody else is guessing. Oh, Janice Yalanaka says linguine. That's a good guess, Janice. But that would be from the movie. I don't remember in the TV series. Anyways, the question was, what is the name of the dish Oscar serves to Felix on the last episode of the original TV series, The Odd Couple? And it is called Goop Melange. And the reason it's called Goop Melange is because Oscar says that he cooked a meal for Felix, because Felix was going to get remarried, but only if his ex-wife Gloria, who he's going to remarry, was convinced that he was not the finicky, picky, nerdy kind of guy he once was, and he's changed. So Oscar decided he was going to make dinner and invite him to dinner, and Felix would eat the dinner to prove that. So it was, I think it was like sardines and whipped cream and a whole bunch of stuff in the bowl. I think you can actually find recipes online if you're actually looking for it, but I don't think they ever specified what it was. And then Felix looks at the bowl and he says, what is this melange? And Oscar says, I was going to call it goop, but I like your name better. I'm going to call it Goop Melange. So Goop Melange was the dish that Oscar served to Felix on the last episode, the very last episode of the television series, The Odd Couple. So, but linguine was a guess, a good movie guess. Hey, Jonathan Olson. Well, glad to have you on another live stream. I'm glad you can make it. Ham and bean with cheesy blue corn polenta and homemade tortillas. Ham and bean with cheesy blue corn polenta and homemade tortillas. That sounds delicious. That sounds awesome, as a matter of fact. Now I want some. I guess I'm going to make it. Alrighty. So let's see. We did 2 snacks. We have 3. Let's do one more snack, and then we'll open up our beer. So the next snack from Trader Joe's. This is crispy, crunchy, spicy mochi rice nuggets. There's a lot to say right there. With the 2 happy nuggets seeing their friend being tossed in the fire and screaming. So made from the same glutinous rice as the soft and chewy sweet Japanese favorite, mochi. Trader Joe's spicy mochi nuggets hit the other end of the spectrum. They're crunchy, spicy, and crispy. A fiery snack that you might not be able to stop eating. Well, we'll see, won't we? Let's go ahead and ask a question. That is tonight's live stream Trippy food. Oh, cool. Oh, wow, that sounds delicious. So everybody, Tom's live stream is usually 2 hours after ours. So ours ends at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Tom's usually starts at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So if you have a chance, make sure you check out Tom's, because it sounds like he's making ham and bean with cheesy blue corn polenta and homemade tortillas. It sounds amazing. Amazing. So check it out after this. Okay, so the question is, and this is a Trippy food question. So this question relates to a Trippy food episode, just for your own, if it helps. The question is, where is the world's largest ball of twine? Again, the question, where is the world's largest ball of twine? So we're going to wrap things up by putting that over here. Just let it sit there. Not on the stove. We're not using the stove today. I'm going to put everything other places besides the stove. And let's go ahead and open up our crispy, crunchy, spicy mochi rice nuggets. Now, Tom is making homemade tortillas. So, John, you might want to run that idea for the thunderstorm enchiladas that you ran by me the other day. And I have a feeling that Tom will be able to make those into a reality better than I could. That's a weird smell. It smells familiar, but I can't recall what it smells like. It's a really, really weird smell. They look like croutons. I mean, seriously, they look like croutons. Don't they? Don't these look like croutons? G Money, thank you for joining us. I will continue to entertain you as long as you would like to continue to be entertained. So, welcome back. And welcome Ziggy Starburst. There's a lot of ways your mind goes to seeing that. It's not Stardust. And it's not Starburst. It's Starbust. So welcome, Ziggy Starburst. Welcome back, Ziggy Starbust. Wow. These are really spicy. They taste like rice, but not like rice cakes. They're much denser, much crunchier. Sweet. They're sweet. Do they add sugar to that? I don't see sugar in the ingredients, but for some reason they're sweet. Maybe it's like the natural sweetness of the rice. Man, these are addictive. These are really good. I can't compare them to anything else. I guess the closest thing they're like is like croutons, except they're much, much denser than croutons. And they're much crunchier than croutons, but not like stale crouton, you know? And they're very spicy. They do have habanero powder in it. That's a thumbs way up. These are really, really good. That's a nice snack. Yeah, I don't know what to expect, but these are really, really, this could be my new snack. We had these little, I don't know if they're gnats or fruit flies or whatever. They're tiny, tiny little flying things. Tiny, you can't even see what they look like. They're that tiny, and they keep ending up in my beverages. How do I get this thing out? Maybe it doesn't matter. It's just protein, right? There we go, got them out. Those are really, really good. Let's go back to our question, and our question was, in fact, where is the world's largest ball of twine located? And the answers were, let's see, Quatville, Oklahoma. Oklahoma. Only two things come from Oklahoma. Okies and I don't know. Ziggy Starbust said Valley View, Texas. Or Ziggy Starbust is telling us he's from Valley View, Texas. I'm not sure, but maybe he's saying the world's largest ball of twine is in Valley View, Texas. I'll take it at that. Tom, old guy in Colorado, says Quatville, Oklahoma. Lynn81 says Cocker City. Doesn't mention the state. That's okay. Let's see. Those snacks are basically arare or rice crackers. Yeah, they are, but they're it's a different texture than crackers. They're much thicker, so they're crunchier and chewier. But whatever they are, they're really good. Let's see, was that it? No, the snacks are from different places. So I covered that on the review, but I'll really quickly I'll just run through them for you. The cauliflower crisp snacks that we started with, those were from our from Trader Joe's, and they were for our Trader Joe's live stream. We did a Trader Joe's live stream. These ugly peaches, upcycled peaches, These were from Whole Foods, and they were from our Whole Foods live stream. Again, they weren't from that live stream. They were stuff that was purchased for those live streams, but not used. So that's what the Ugly Peaches were from. The last one we did, which was the crispy, crunchy, spicy mochi rice nuggets from Trader Joe's, was also for the Trader Joe's live stream. That's what those are from. And I'll let you know as we go what live stream they were from, so we get caught up. Oh, and our beverage, the two beverages were not from any live stream. They were just stuff I picked up. And it just so happened that the watermelon, the sparkling watermelon juice was from Trader Joe's. But that got a thumbs in the middle, because they added citric acid for some unknown reason and kind of ruined the watermelon experience, in my opinion. Oh, Janice went and answered that. Okay. So Ziggy Starbust said Ball of Twine, Valley View, Texas. Oh, okay. So the correct answer is, in fact, Cawker City, Kansas. Now, there is some debate on this. I know that there's a place in Minnesota. I got this thing sticking up here. I think this fan is blowing my hair up. So I know that there's one in Minnesota. I can't recall what city in Minnesota, but there is one in Minnesota that is regarded as the largest ball of twine. It is, in fact, the largest ball of twine wound by one person. So the big difference is the one in Cawker City, Kansas is not wound by one person. It's wound by multiple. It was originally wound by one person, but then over the years, they continued to wind twine on it. In fact, if you watch the video, I'm actually winding twine on the world's largest ball of twine and making it even larger. So those are the two disputed. The two disputed as the world's largest. One is the world's largest rolled by one person, which it still stands. The other one is just the world's largest, period, and that is the one in Cawker City, Kansas. In the movie Vacation, National Lampoon's Vacation, Clark Griswold mentioned the one in Minnesota. So he says, we're just 4 short hours from the world's second largest ball of twine. So he was referring to the one in Minnesota, because they didn't go through Kansas. So I hope that answers your question. World's largest ball of twine. That for me was like weird travel and food mecca to me. That was like, I went to the world's largest ball of twine and wound twine on it. I can quit right now. I might as well just give everything else up right now, because I've been to the world's largest ball of twine, which is usually a punchline to a joke, but I've actually been there. So I hope that helps. Those of you who guessed correctly, give yourself 5 points. Those of you who guessed incorrectly, take their 5 points. And those of you who did not guess at all, then just take as many points as you want. I wonder if anybody had bought Hell yet. Is Hell up for sale? Were they selling it? I think when I was there, Stoner, I believe you're talking about Hell, Michigan. When I was there, I think it was a population of 50. There were 50 people there, and I think we talked about this before. The population had increased. It was several hundred, up to several hundred. I didn't realize the city was for sale right now, Stoner. If you don't mind, just because now I'm curious, because I'm obsessively curious, could you look that up and see? It was a town for sale, and if it was for sale, did somebody buy Hell? I would like to. Hell's a nice place. It's a really nice place. It's a rolling farm community. Very quiet little town. A lot of tourists flock to the middle of town, which is like maybe 8 buildings. It's not a big place, but it's a lot of fun. Weird Al had a song called "The Biggest Ball of Twine in Minnesota." Well, maybe that's the key. It's the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota, not the world's largest ball of twine. The biggest ball of twine in Minnesota. So, there we go. Did you guys see that? Went out of focus when I dove down there. That was kind of weird. I remember one of the live streams we found out it was for sale. Yeah, somebody was talking about that, but I don't recall, Stoner. So if you don't mind, would you mind looking that up so that we all know? All right, so we went through 3 snacks, and now it's time to open up our alcoholic beverage. So, which means another trivia question, and I think it's going to be a generic one. So we are going to open up our beverage, which is our alcoholic beverage, which is Speculoos Cookie Butter Beer. Again, this is from Hardywood Park Craft Brewery in Richmond, Virginia, and it's some sort of tie-in to the cookie butter batter that you can get at Trader Joe's. So this is not from Trader Joe's, but it's a reference to that same cookie batter. I don't know, cookie butter beer. It's not like a cookie butter is in the beer, but a lot of, there's toasted coconut, vanilla beans, and other natural flavors. So it sounds good. We're going to give it a try. Question. Let's ask a question. Let's see. I would like to buy Hell, Michigan and rename it Dolerville. John, why would you do that? It's called Hell, Michigan. You want to leave it Hell. You want to leave it. You want to leave it as Hell. You don't want to name it Dolerville. You know, I'll tell you what, John. Why don't you buy Buda? Why don't you buy Buda, Texas, and rename that Dolerville? That would be good. Yeah, buy Buda, Texas. Rename that Dolerville, so that everybody leaving Austin going south has to pass through Dolerville. That would be awesome. I thought you said the biggest ball of twins had to read it twice. That's funny. Darwin, Minnesota. I am a Minnesotan. Oh, okay. Thank you, Ziggy. Darwin, Minnesota is where the world's balls. There's a reference to be made. There's a Darwinian reference to be made there. I don't know what it is, but there's a reference there. Ziggy, have you been to the world's largest ball of twine run by one person? Have you actually been there, Ziggy? All right, here is our question. And our question is this. Again, it's a generic food question. And what was low-fat ice cream called prior to 1994? Again, the question, what was low-fat ice cream called prior to 1994? So we're going to put that one in the freezer and make sure the door gets closed so it doesn't melt. Last listing I found was in 2006 for $900,000. And $900,000 for your own city called Hell, I guess with all the property that's in there, is not a bad deal, right? I mean, unless it's a toxic dump site, that's a pretty good deal. So I'm surprised nobody bought it. It is a cool 103 degrees here. Oh my God! Yeah, it's supposed to be in the high 90s here today, Pudding. So I think for the next couple of days, it's supposed to be in the high 90s, and in the valley. So when people hear the valley in California, they're talking about the San Fernando Valley. There's a lot of valleys out here. There's the San Gabriel Valley. There is the La Crescenta Valley. There's all kinds of valleys here because you have basically these ridges of mountains or very, very large hills, these ridges, and then you have the valleys in between them. So there's a lot of them. But the one that's referred to as the valley is the San Fernando Valley, and it's always hot in the valley. From now I can tell they are now selling square inches of Hell for $9.99. The town was on sale back in 2000. I'm not sure. Maybe the town is hurting and they're trying to raise money by selling off the entire town. It sounds like that's not working, so they're selling off little pieces of it. So that's interesting. Val, where is Amelia Earhart? Where is Amelia Earhart from? Where is Amelia Earhart now? So there's statues of Amelia Earhart all over the place. I think, if I'm not mistaken, she was originally from Medford, Massachusetts. If I'm not mistaken. Somebody can look that up, of course. As far as where is she now, I would say she's probably in recycled lumps in the bottom of the ocean. So she's probably been eaten by all kinds of fish at the bottom of the ocean because I think her plane crashed in the 1930s, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, the odds of finding Amelia Earhart, unless she crashed into an island and and it's still intact, the odds of finding Amelia Earhart intact are slim to none. So I don't know where she is. Nobody else knows where she is. Maybe she's off partying with Jimmy Hoffa somewhere. Okay, so our alcoholic beverage. Let's go ahead and open that up. Again, we took Ariel out of retirement because this is a nondescript bottle cap, and so it's pointless to put it in our. See the little dents? I don't know, maybe you can't. Let's see. See, she puts little dents in the cap. So if you want to collect the cap, kind of loses something because it has a dents on the top of it. But for our purposes, it's not important. Where is Julie? I need Julie. I'm doing a pour here. And we're going to use our patented tornado glass, or beer tornado glass. It's kind of an orangey color. I think we'll stop there because I think the head's going to grow on that. Julie will have to just watch this afterwards and then give me a rating afterwards. Look at that go. Look at that tornado action happening there. That's fun. That is fun. Man, I wish I had a spoon to get past that foam. Oh, wow. Wow. That is unique. Holy cow. That is so different. It almost tastes like it has a hint of orange. I don't think it does. I mean, they mentioned what it's brewed with. Maybe that's cardamom. It's toasted coconut, vanilla beans, and other natural flavors. I don't think they go. Oh yeah, they do go into it. Let's see. Whole vanilla beans, milk, sugar, and toasted coconut. Wow, this is really unusual. It doesn't have that alcohol bite that some beers do, especially ales. It doesn't have that, and it has this sweetness to it and this almost fruitiness, which is really weird. Maybe that's from hops. That's a dessert by itself, but it's so different than like than a sweet and sturdy stout. A lot of S's there, alliterations. It's so much sweeter than like a stout. Yeah. Wow. I don't know that I would use this to make a beer float. It doesn't have that kind of rich green taste that would stand up to a beer float. No, maybe if you did a beer float with a scoop of sherbet, that might work. That might work in here. I think it would work really well. But it's supposed to taste like I'm not getting the whole cookie thing here. It is sweet and desserty, but my mind doesn't go to cookies. But this is one of the most unusual beers I've ever tasted. This is a thumbs way up. This is really, really good. 9.5. It's a 9.5 by ABV. So I have to drink this one slowly, but that's a big thumbs up for me. Alrighty. Good times. That is so good. Wow. That's surprising. That's just like this. It threw me for a loop. I don't understand. Let's see, did I miss anything here? All right, there's some guesses. On your next cooking video, you need to use let's see. Okay, yeah. Tom answered that question. That kumquats are hard to get where Tom is. My guess is because it's a citrus fruit. It doesn't grow well in Colorado. Colorado's like high altitude and everything. It won't grow that really well. But we'll have to make sure. I know that Tom in the fall sometime. Tom is planning on coming out to Southern California, and if he does, we'll see if they're in season. If they're in season, we will definitely get him some kumquats. Maybe we'll freeze some and have him send them back with him. So pair that with a fruit tart, maybe. Yeah, that would work. I think that would work with a fruit tart. You're absolutely right, Stoner. Yeah, really good. I'm really surprised. Our question, though, was what was low-fat ice cream called prior to 1994? Let's see. Jonathan Olson said frozen yogurt. Janice Yamanaka said ice milk. Tom, Old Guy in Colorado, said it was called ice quat. You can get it on a cone, too. Let's see. Jonathan, Stanhope, Iowa may be Hell, but Hell, Michigan was just named Hell. It was named after that because there was a creek going through it called Hell Creek. So that's where the town was named after, the creek, Hell Creek. But it's not Hell. It's a nice place. I've been on the road to Hell. I've been to Hell and back. Let's see. John said ice colada. Let's see. Amelia Earhart was born in Atchison, Kansas. I would not have gotten that. Is that the only guesses? Those look like the only guesses. Okay. It turns out that Janice Yamanaka is in fact correct. It is frozen. It was called ice milk. So ice milk. It used to be. You could actually, in the 1980s, you could actually go out and buy ice milk, and it had a distinctively different taste than ice cream. So like what is low-fat ice cream right now is they have emulsifiers and things that kind of thicken it up a little bit. But ice milk was almost like a sherbet. So it was made with milk, but it was almost had like ice in it. So it was, the texture was completely different than than ice cream. And when somebody sneezed it onto your plate, like you went over to somebody's house and goes like, hey, who wants some ice cream? And they would put the ice milk in your dish, and you'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah, so it was kind of disappointing. But Janice is absolutely correct. Low-fat ice cream prior to 1994 was called ice milk because it was made, in fact, from milk and not cream. So there we go. That goes back into the deck. It's still cold. I'm burning my fingers. It's that cold. You missed my melted milk balls guess. I did miss that, Pudding. Where's that? I see you saying, where is Carmen Sandiego? But I didn't see that listed. Oh, there it is. Melted milk. It's way up there. That's why I saw it. Melted milk balls. Huh, that's funny. I thought it was like malted milk balls. I love malted milk balls. I haven't had those in years. Now I want malted milk balls. You have to get some of those. Legend has it that if Tom gives a hold of kumquats, it will reverse the time-space continuum. Great Scott, Marty! That would be funny. Sort of funny. Let's see. Janice got that correct. Janice, you have to take everybody's points away from them, all of them, and then just add them up, and those are your points for now. Everybody else loses points unless you didn't answer, in which case half of Janice's points go to all of you divided up. So I'm not good at math, so you're going to have to take care of that. So now we are down to our last two snacks. Wow, we're down to our last two snacks, and we still have 45 minutes left. So we are doing really, really great on time. But we're going to have to fill that up with a bunch of useless banter. That'll be fun. All right, so let's go on to our next snack. And again, this for, who was it that was it Jonathan? I can't remember who it was that was asking about where these things were from. And I said we would cover it. This is El Sabroso, Snacks Delicioso, established 1978 in Los Angeles, California. And these are corn chips, frituras de maíz, chile y limon. And these are from the dollar store. These are from the 99 cents only store. That's why I don't have high hopes on them, because I would think it would be a smaller bag if they were actually good. These were $1 at the dollar store, so we're going to go ahead and try these. But a question first. And we're back to a Trippy food question. So this is a question that will refer to a Trippy food episode. So that's where you will find your answer if you don't know. And the question is, what is the name and location of the world's crookedest street? And this is according to Guinness Book of World Records. What is the name and location of the world's crookedest street? So that goes over here. Let's just sit that down at the top of the street. Let that sit for a while, and let's open up our corn chips, our frituras de maíz. And Doodle is here begging for another snack. I will give him a small one because we have to pace him, so he doesn't end up weighing 200 pounds. Doodle! There you go. And off he goes. These aren't going to taste like Fritos, I can promise you that. Ooh, that's a weird smell. It doesn't smell like corn, and it doesn't smell like chili. Maybe it's the plastic in the bag that I'm smelling. It is that weird smell. These are kind of dark, too. Look at this. I got a bad feeling about this. Ooh, that took me by surprise, the lime. It says it right on the bag, though. They're much thinner than Fritos, so they're not as crunchy. Cardboard fried in stale oil. That sounds pretty accurate. It doesn't have a strong corn taste. It doesn't taste as much like corn as Fritos do. Not even an aftertaste. But some of these things I find, when I'm eating some of these, I'll review them. I'll take a couple of bites of them and review them. And then later on, I'll eat them. And then as I get down to like the third or fourth handful, it starts taking on a different texture. And so some of the stuff that I missed in my initial review actually shows up later on. So those first couple of mouthfuls, they can be deceptive sometimes. That's why I keep on trying it. The lime is really strong. The chili is not really strong. Well, it's not really spicy. There's slight spiciness, but it's not anything that says chili on the front of it. You would expect to be really, really spicy, and it's not. I don't know. I kind of miss that crunch. There's no crunch to it at all. I'm mostly tasting lime. I'm not tasting corn at all. And the spice is really subdued. And then there's a weird chemical aftertaste. Maybe you should have opened the back upside down. Janice, I think that might have been worse. I could try it now. Let's turn it upside down and open the butt. I don't know. I don't know if that would have helped in this particular case because, like, I am getting the lime. The lime is really strong. I just don't think it's going to be that. It's meant to be that spicy. Yeah. Yeah. That's a thumbs down. That's a thumbs down. There's nothing redeeming in there that would make me want to buy that more than once. So weird aftertaste. Not much of a corn taste. Not spicy. Really strong lime taste. Too thin, so there's not the satisfaction of the crunch and everything. I don't like them. I don't have to like them. Thumbs down. Ooh, you know what? One thing I didn't do. Except I have a feeling this is going to be good. The reason I say that is because that tanginess from the citric acid in the watermelon, in the sparkling watermelon. It's not too sparkling. It's not overly sparkling. It does have that watermelon flavor, and I think it's going to go with the nice sweetness of the beer. So I have a feeling this is going to actually be good. Let's see. Nope. No. There's something in there that doesn't jive. It's like maybe it's like adding that in kind of accentuated the alcohol taste in the beer. It took away all the fun stuff in that beer and just brought that alcohol and beer taste out. And it clashes with the watermelon. Not good. Yeah, thumbs down. But I had to try it, right? That's a big fat nope. So let's go back to our question. And our question was, what is the name and location of the world's crookedest street? Again, this was a Trippy food episode. Let's see what people said. So let's see how far up I have to go. We're still talking about ice cream up there. Let's see. Janice Yamanaka says Lombard Street in San Francisco, California. Lineda One says Lombard Street in San Francisco. Pudding Power says, I don't know the name, but I've seen it on vacation with my dad. We drove by it, but not on it, because he said it takes so long to get through with tourists. Well, the thing is, it also, you can only go 5 miles an hour, maximum 5 miles an hour. You could try to go faster if you want. You're going to end up smashing your car up on the sides of it because it is so windy that you have to really go slow to maneuver it. So, and it is almost always crowded, people waiting to go down. It doesn't take that long to go down, though. I mean, traffic does move. They discourage you from stopping your car in the middle of it. You don't want to do that. If you want to stop in the middle, then you take the stairs that are on either side of it. Take the stairs. Wait, hang on a second. I take that back. The stairs on one side. So if you're going down, the stairs on the right-hand side, stairs that run the length of the street. And it has to be stairs. The reason that it's windy is because the street is so steep that the car would bottom out when you try to go down it. So they made it go windy so that you don't bottom out the bottom of your car. And so it is so steep that rather than to do a sidewalk that you would probably slide down, they do stairs instead. And then on the other side is like the driveways, the houses on the other side. So the street opens up into their driveway. It is, in fact, Lombard Street in San Francisco, California. Everybody got it right. So basically what you have to do is you have to take all the points that have been generated so far and divide those up among yourselves. Anybody who got it wrong, you have to pretend that you have extra points. Pretend you have 100 points each. And anybody who didn't answer at all, you get 2,000 points. So, So when we filmed that episode, you'll notice this from two different angles, right? So one angle is me in the car driving down, and the other angle is the camera facing outside, facing down the street as we're driving down. So those are actually two trips down that I kind of put the video together, but it was two trips down. One was with the camera facing down, the other one was the camera facing back. Two separate trips. So it wasn't too bad, and you could get down it in time. If you want to bypass it completely, if you're in a hurry to go somewhere and everything, yeah, take one of the other streets. But it is always fun to say that you've gone down the most crooked street in the world, according to Guinness Book of World Records, which is in fact Lombard Street. Yeah, it was probably 25 years ago when I saw it, and it was people slowly driving down it while their spouse or group took pictures from the bottom. Yeah, and actually, if you're going to take pictures from the bottom, you're best to stand like across the street and maybe even down the street a little bit. Only because if you're just down at the very bottom, just at the very bottom, you're not going to get a good picture. So it's a good reason to stand back. If you're going to go to San Francisco, you got to drive down Lombard Street, and it's only downhill. I've never seen it go uphill, so it's not like they change directions or anything. It's only uphill. I mean, it's only downhill. But it's worth a try if you're. It's worth a shot if you're in San Francisco to do Lombard Street, to drive down Lombard Street, or like I said, walk up the stairs if you want to. So that is that question. That is done. We have one snack left, and we have our next trivia question is a TV trivia question. I'm gonna, if you guys will hang on for 1 second, I'm gonna turn on the AC. I have the fans on, but they're not cutting it. Just let me know if you think it gets too noisy. But I just need the AC on because it's getting really steamy in here. I'm going to shut this fan over here because we don't need extra noise. There we go. How's that sound? Is that too loud? I don't know if this is noise canceling. If that cancels that out. What do you guys? Do you hear that loud humming in the background? Yes? No? Maybe so. Val, would you eat chocolate-covered pinto beans with onions? Here's the thing. When you say chocolate-covered pinto beans, how do you mean? Oh, that's fine. Good. Okay, thank you, Pudding. How do you cover? Like, are you talking about like a bowl of pinto beans with chocolate syrup poured on top of it? What do you mean chocolate covered? You mean like each bean is covered with chocolate, like a chocolate covered coffee bean? Is that what you're talking about? Because that sounds like it would be okay. Now the with onions part is difficult. So John, you come up with some very interesting combinations, and some good combinations, some good challenging combinations. But the execution is questionable how you would execute that. So so you probably have to get a little bit more specific as to what you mean by chocolate-covered pinto beans. With onions, do you mean pinto beans with onions with chocolate poured over it? What is the consistency of the onions? Are you talking about those little pearl onions? Both the pinto beans and the pearl onions are each covered with chocolate? Do you mean pinto beans made with onions and then chocolate poured on top of it? So I'm not sure exactly what you mean by chocolate-covered pinto beans with onions. So here's a way we can cut to the chase on this, John. You can assume that if somebody's going to make it and put it in front of me, I will eat it. I will try it. I will try absolutely anything. So the answer is never going to be no, unless you're saying with Drano and Fabuloso in it. Then I'll have to say no. If it's going to kill me, if it's going to maim me, it's going to put me in the hospital. No, I will not eat it. Anything food based, I will eat. I will try. So the answer to all your questions is yes. The difficult question is, how do you execute that? So if somebody wants to go through the trouble of making that for me, I will eat it. But the process of how you actually make chocolate-covered pinto beans with onions is just a little bit confusing. So let's just say, let's see, pinto beans and sliced onions dipped in chocolate. Now, how do you dip a pinto bean? Sliced onions. So you're talking about. All right. So, are you talking about cooked pinto beans? And if you try to dip a cooked pinto bean in chocolate, I think it would work. But the problem is, a cooked pinto bean might be kind of soft. It might just fall apart in the chocolate. Sliced onions. You're just talking about a white onion sliced up, dipped in chocolate. Why put the two of those together? Why not do chocolate covered pinto beans and chocolate covered onions instead of chocolate covered pinto beans with onions? right? It's not really with onions. You're doing chocolate-covered onions and you're doing chocolate-covered pinto beans at that point in time. So again, if somebody wants to figure that out, I would give that a try. But the execution needs some work. Let's put it that way. But safely assume that it involves food and it's not anything poisonous and it's not anything that's to make me sick. The answer is yes, I would try it. Let's get Tom to come up with a recipe. Yeah, let's get. I'll bet Tom could do that. I don't know if you guys saw. Tom did a challenge. It was the. I'm trying to remember what it was called. But he took. I think it was Vienna. I want to say the Vienna chocolate challenge. So he took a can of Vienna sausage, and he put them on a plate, and he poured a. Well, I think it was the equivalent of a can, but actually a squeeze bottle of Hershey syrup on top of it. And the idea was he had to eat the entire contents of the can, all of the Vienna sausages, and drink the mixture of Vienna sausage juice and chocolate sauce afterwards. It was, I could feel the pain watching him eat that. And then he asked me if I would be considered do it, and yes, I would consider do it. I have to actually, my schedule's been a bit crazy lately. I started a new job several weeks ago, and it's very technically challenging, so it's requiring me to do a lot of after hours work, and I start working at 6:30 in the morning, so it's been so finding time to do this other stuff has been a little bit of a challenge for me. But that one sounds like it's easy enough. Get a can of Vienna sausage, get a bottle of Hershey syrup. That one sounds relatively easy, so I think we might make that one happen in the near future. If you've not seen that, go to Tom's channel, Old Guy in Colorado, and check that out, and pray for Tom. So there we go. Tom put chocolate syrup on Vienna sausage. Yes, that's what we were just discussing. So Tom has homework for next week. Yeah, Tom, if you can figure out that pinto bean and sliced onions thing, But I don't know. It just needs to be worked out a little bit. One snack left. Plenty of time. We get plenty of time. We can go off on sidetrack. It doesn't matter. We have plenty of time. Cards. Let us read a card, and then we will dig into our next snack. So, you know what? It occurs to me that I was just talking about Lombard Street, but I don't know if I actually mentioned it was Lombard Street. You all got it right, of course. Naturally, you all got that right. It is Lombard Street in San Francisco, California. I don't remember mentioning that as the answer. So there we go. So again, this one is a television trivia question, and the question is, on what television show did one of the characters make a dish that was a mashup of English trifle and shepherd's pie? Again, the question, on what television show did one of the characters make a dish that was a mashup of English trifle and shepherd's pie? So that one's going to go in the refrigerator, and we're going to let that solidify a little bit, and we're going to open our last snack. So this is Now and Later, the long-lasting chew, extreme sour mixed fruit. Wow, that beer. It is apple, cherry, and watermelon flavor. So we're going to have to eat one of each. The ingredients: corn syrup, sugar, palm oil, citric acid, malic acid, sodium citrate, pectin, corn starch, fumaric acid, salt, egg whites, artificial flavors, soy lecithin, emulsifier, potato starch, red 40, yellow 5, blue 1. So artificial flavors is we're probably not going to expect this to taste like apple, cherry, or watermelon because it's artificial flavors. I'm guessing the extreme sour is citric acid, so they probably overdosed on citric acid. Again, these are distributed by the Ferrara Candy Company in Terrace, Illinois, and this is a product of Mexico. So, go ahead and open these. Let's see, what did I miss? Did I miss anything? Nope, everybody's answering. Okay, I'll cover that in a second. Let's get one of each. Why do these all look the same? One is red and one is pink, supposedly. And I'm not seeing any variation whatsoever. I am not. I'm only seeing 2 colors in there. Look at that. Now tell me, does that not look like Starburst to you? as they go all over the place. They look like Starburst. If there was a color difference here in red and pink, it is so subtle. But since it's artificial flavors, I guess it doesn't really make a difference. So let's do this. Let us. Yeah, that one's kind of. I think this one is pinker than this one. I'm going to go ahead and say that that's the watermelon, and that one's the cherry. So let's see. Well, let's start with the. Let's do the green apple last, since that's probably the most tart. We'll do the cherry second. We'll start with the watermelon. What we think is watermelon. And again, I think these are probably comparable to Starburst. Right? It looks like a Starburst. A little thinner, but a Starburst. It is sour. Wow. It's maybe not Warhead sour. This is extreme sour. I'm not getting that. I had more sour lemons than that. It does, Peter. I think you're right. Same coloring and everything. I think they are going for Sour Patch. The difference in Sour Patch, though, is the Sour Patch Kids, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a while since I had them. Aren't the Sour Patch Kids ones covered with sugar? Don't they have sugar on the outside, like granulated sugar on top of them? Peter? It doesn't taste like watermelon. It's sour. It's like what was that toxic waste candy we had? That was really sour. This one's not bad. The toxic waste candy that we ate came with a warning and said, "Do not eat more than one." Now and later, pinto bean flavor. That would be later. All right, let's try another one. That one had no watermelon taste at all. But again, artificial flavors, so that's not surprising. And especially if you're doing something sour, sour trumps everything else that you're eating. So that's sour. Well, it tastes different. Maybe I got them backwards because that one almost has more of a watermelon taste. But this one has the pink one is cherry. Oh, okay. Well, that would explain it. So this one actually does have a watermelon taste. The other one apparently didn't have a cherry taste. It's really subtle though. It's mostly sour and sweet. Sugary and sour. Nothing special there. Now let's try these. So these seem like they're more like of a challenge candy. Not of a candy that like you really want to eat it because you would love that fruit flavor. You love that smack of fruit flavor. It's not why you're eating these. These are more like a challenge candy. That's supposed to be green apple. There's kind of a weird pulpy flavor in there. I could see what they were going for the green apple taste. Kind of pretends to be green apple. They're all about the same amount of sourness. I'm going to give them a thumbs in the middle. Thumbs in the middle because they do mention flavors. They don't hit the mark on the flavors. They have the hint of those flavors, but they don't hit the mark on the flavors. It says extremely sour. It's not extremely sour. It's sour. It's not extremely sour. So it's kind of blah. It's like there's no practical reason to eat this. It's not like the sour is so challenging. You give it to somebody, go, I'll give you $5 if you can eat this whole thing and keep it in your mouth. And at the same time, it's like, hey, taste this and tell me what flavor it is. Can't win that one either. So yeah, it's gonna be a thumbs in the middle. It's just kind of like a joke candy or something. You give it to somebody thinking that he's gonna eat a Starburst, and he eats that instead. Kind of a joke candy. So that's gonna get a thumbs in the middle. I can see why it's at the dollar store. So let's go back to our question, and our question was, in fact, on what television show did one of the characters make a dish that was a mashup of English trifle and shepherd's pie? And the answers were, here's that pinto bean thing again, rearing its ugly head. Let's see. Peter Griffin said Friends. Kevin Schaefer, hey, welcome to the room, Kevin Schaefer. I have not seen you in a long time, Kevin. How are you? How are you, Kevin? It's good to see you back. A bit of Fry and Laurie. I'm not sure if that's the name of a show, but that's your guess, I guess. Janice Yamanaka said Rachel from Friends and said hi to Kevin Schaefer. Lenny One said Friends. John King said Phoebe from Friends. Let's see, was that it? That looks like maybe that was it. John, you need to send your suggestion to Being Boozled. Yeah, really, seriously. That looked like all the guesses. So anybody who said Friends was correct. Anybody who said Rachel from Friends was extra correct. Anybody who said Phoebe from Friends was half correct. So there's just too much going on there. You guys split up the points. You guys figure it out. I don't know what it is. Yes, so it was Rachel. It was on a Thanksgiving episode when they all had to make Thanksgiving dinner. And I don't know if Rachel mixed up recipes or something, but she ended up making a dish that was sort of English trifle and sort of shepherd's pie. I think it was a thing of like she was using her mother's recipe and the pages were stuck together, or there was a page missing or something. And so she ended up making something that was a combination of English trifle, which is a dessert, and shepherd's pie, which is not a dessert. And so anybody who said Friends is absolutely correct. Anybody who said Rachel from Friends is extra correct. Anybody who said Phoebe from Friends is half correct. So there we go. That is our trivia per food item for today. We're going to do some other weird and stupid stuff. Let's see. Doing Great, you should watch it. It's a British sketch show with Stephen Fry and Hugh. I like both of them. Oh, it must be very old. It was back when Hugh Laurie was doing sketch comedy. So it must be really old. And Stephen Fry, I don't think he's done really much in the past few years either. But yeah, I love them both. They're both great. But that kind of, I don't know, phlegmy kind of stuff when you eat sour stuff that got stuck there. This is what you requested last Saturday. The polenta was my idea. Tom and John, I see a beautiful friendship blossoming. All right, so that covers our trivia questions, but let's do something stupid. So we're going to do what we usually do. I think I'm going to... I thought that was going to spill all over the place, and I forgot that it's empty. I'm going to start with the cauliflower crisp snack from Trader Joe's, product of Canada. And then let's go with. I'm trying to build on size. Let's do the dollar store corn chips. That's what we have so far. Let's do a now and later. Let's do the pink one. Thank you, Kevin. I just got that link. I will watch that shortly. You know, not during the show, of course. Here's what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to kind of squish this a little bit so I can stick stuff to it. Make it match the rest of the stuff. Yes, Kevin, I got that. Thank you. Looks like bubble gum. All right, let's see. What are we going to do next? Next, let's do the crispy, crunchy, spicy Mochi rice nuggets. Dude, you can't have any of this. Plus, this is spicy. You won't like it. You'll be pooping all over the floor. All right, you know what? One snack. One snack. Half a snack. There you go. And Doodle, the Prince of Dogness, has left the room. Okay, Kevin, hey, thanks for stopping by. It was good to see you, even if it was only for a few minutes, and I hope to see you again soon. Kevin Schaefer, everybody. Mochi rice nuggets. Trying to figure out where I left off. It's just so weird. All right, we're just going to put one on there. And last, and maybe least, are dollar store corn chips. No, I already put those on there. What am I missing? I'm missing something. Oh, our ugly peaches. These are really good. These are going to go on oatmeal. They're really, really good. All right, there we go. Doesn't that look like a Barbie cake? So we have a little bit of everything on there. We have that cauliflower chips, crisps. We have the dollar store Fritos. We have the Now and Later sour whatever. We have the mochi, and we have the ugly chopped up peaches. The Now and Later candies ruins the whole thing. That fake fruitiness and sour stuff. Val, you should shower in pizza sauce. I'm Italian. What makes you think I don't? Nice, simmer in a nice tub of red sauce. You can feed me to people in an Italian restaurant. That's going to get a thumb down because of Now and Later. I'm going to try something else. Bear with me. I'm going to try that again without the Now and Later. Because I think the Now and Later ruined it. Not that this was great. That on there. Mochi rice nuggets. Is saying something mochi rice? Is that redundant? Because isn't mochi made from rice? Would that not be redundant? John, you say a lot of things like I should shower in pizza sauce. Your scientists were so preoccupied with figuring out what they could do that they didn't stop to think of what they should do. Let's see, is that only 3 or 4? What am I missing? I got the nuggets, oh, okay, that's everything. All right, so let's try this again without the Now and Later. This one doesn't want to stay together. And Now and Later held everything together. It was like gum. Better, but the fruitiness of this still. The lime in the corn chips, really strong. Other than that, everything kind of blends together pretty well. That's a lot better. Let's take a thumbs in the middle. With an hour later on it, thumbs down. And I think we can't hope for a thumbs up on this anyway at all whatsoever. Sip of beer. Did Doodle come back in, John? Did I miss him? I didn't know. It looks like might have missed Doodle. You guys can still hear me, right? Still hear me. Oh, it's not redundant because mochi is a certain dish made from rice. What's wrong with calling them mochi nuggets is that those are usually called arare, which are fried or baked rice crackers. I have a feeling that the people who put this together, this is a product of what? Product of Japan. But maybe they figure that it's for an American market, and that they're not going to question it. So either way, I like them. They're good. All right, we have gone through everything, so that gives us a few minutes to talk about stuff that I wanted to talk about, but we never get time to do so. So I'm going to go ahead and go through that. So I don't know if you guys have seen this. This sounds like something that John King would have come up with, but in fact didn't. Domino's Pizza, after seeing something that occurred on TikTok, and maybe you guys have seen this, Domino's did I think it was a commercial. They did a commercial. Here, let me post the article for you. It was apparently what Domino's did was they saw the TikTok, and in the TikTok, this person who I think is a chef, but maybe not, decided they wanted to make a watermelon pizza. And so what they do is they grilled the pizza to try to get a lot of the moisture out of it, and then they put on it a barbecue sauce, not tomato sauce, barbecue sauce. I'm not sure what they used for cheese. I'm assuming that they used the mozzarella cheese and the barbecue sauce. I think that's all they put on it. They didn't think they put anything else on it, like pepperoni or anything like that. I'm not sure. Maybe they did put pepperoni on it. But they made this watermelon pizza, and Domino's copied it. So Domino's made this watermelon pizza. Well, in the taste test, Domino's said it was wrong. They made it wrong because there was too much water in the watermelon, but they didn't make it the same way. They didn't make it correctly. But for some reason, people are losing their mind over it. They're losing their mind over Domino's doing it, and they're like, there was all kinds of tweets and everything against Domino's, like, what were you thinking? Why would you do that? Whatever. And it was kind of like, from Domino's standpoint, it was a joke, but nobody took it that way, and so it didn't look good for Domino's. I will say that we will try to make that. We will try to make a watermelon pizza. It sounds easy enough, and if it comes out like crap, it comes out like crap. But it sounds easy enough to do. Just need a whole watermelon. You're going to cut it into a slice. I'm going to say a narrow slice, but I think most of the ones I saw in the video were relatively thick. But we might go ahead and make that. I have no idea why it's controversial. I mean, no idea whatsoever, because people are mashing up stuff and doing so much crazy stuff. I have no idea why it got as commercial as it. Maybe because Domino's is a corporation and everybody wants to stick it to the corporation and go, Domino's, you can't do that. Maybe that's what it is. But regardless, there's the article. I don't know why, but for some reason people made a big deal out of it. We found a cool old baby scales for puppies. Oh, for puppies, an option. So it's a scale that used to weigh babies in. But yeah, that would work for especially your puppies, because your puppies are already bigger than most babies. From an old hospital in a nearby town. It's from the 1950s in nearly mint new condition. You might want to have it taken to be, what's the word they use when they tweak the measurement or something like that? So you take it to, there's a place that you take it to if you have a scale, and they will make sure that it's accurate. I guess if it's antique, or 1950s, 1950s would be antique. I guess if it's antique, it probably has the little weights that you put on there, so you put a certain amount of weights on there, and when it counterbalances, you know how much they weigh, as opposed to like one of the ones you just put them on the scale and the needle goes like that, I think. But you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. Oh, it was a Domino's in Australia that made it. Yeah, I don't know if that makes a difference, whether it was a Domino's. I think even if it was a Domino's in the United States, people still would have given them crap for it. That's kind of... is Mochi... Did I say it wrong again? Mochi. No, I said it right that time. Mochi. Hey, Grub Warp! You're back, and we have 6 minutes left. But never too late. I hope you watch some, and this is you're just jumping into the channel to say hello. But either way, welcome, Grub Warp, and we hope you enjoyed the next 6 minutes that we're going to be here. I already checked it. Already weighs fine. Oh, cool. Okay, good. That's helpful. So, what did something like that run you for a scale? Is it? I mean, I imagine it's got to be somewhat big, right? Because babies can be like that big or something. I imagine that to be, if it's specifically a scale for babies, But again, it will work for puppies. It probably work for Doodle. Doodle's probably smaller than some babies. Here's another news story that it's not going to mean so much to people here, but if you're from New England, it's a big deal. It is a big deal, and the big deal is that Sally's a Beats, which is a Beats is how you say it, like the Italian way of saying a pizza, like a pizza Shoals in Portland, Oregon. A Beats. Sally's a Beats. Sally's a Beats is one of the big three. Sally's, Modern, and Frank Pepe in New Haven, Connecticut for New Haven style pizza. Right, they're one of the big three. But Sally's Pizza is expanding to the greater Boston area. I think they said that the first location is going to be in Woburn, Massachusetts. There's already a lot of like pizza places and stuff in Woburn, Massachusetts, just off Route 128. But it's kind of a big deal that Sally's Pizza is moving there. Now, again, it's like once you franchise or once you open up another place, like right now, Frank Pepe's, that is, they were the ones that invented the white clam pizza. They are located in New Haven, Connecticut, and they have pizzerias in the Boston area. They're usually in malls and stuff like that. So the question is, are they as good? I'm going to have to try it only because I've been to the original Frank Pepe's. I will have to compare that to the Frank Pepe's that they have at the mall. But the fact that Sally's is now expanding to the greater Boston area, if you're a Bostonian and you don't want to drive the 2 hours down to New Haven, Connecticut, it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a cool thing. So I don't know how many Bostonians or massholes we have on today. Julie is not in the room. Bob is not in the room. REA Junior Music is not in the room. But he is in catering, so it makes sense that he would not be in here on Saturday. But to me, I think it's a big deal. And so, if somebody watches this after the fact and sees the fact that Sally's a Beats is coming to the Boston area, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. We paid about what it's worth, $35. So okay, I guess that's good. You pay what it's worth. It's probably worth more than it originally sold for. That's kind of a cool thing. So, Stoner Kitchen's taking off. Yes, later. Y'all see you all on Tom's stream. Okay, Stoner, thanks for stopping by. As always, I think maybe Stoner, you and you and Tom and Janice probably have longevity for having been here for the most amount of live streams. Janice, of course, takes the record because she hasn't missed a single one yet. I predict that, God forbid, and I'm not inviting this, but God forbid that anything would happen to Janice where she would end up in the hospital. I have a feeling that even in the hospital, she would still be on. She would still be on. Even in a coma, she'd probably wake up from the coma and go, hey, I got to be on the live stream. I think that's just my opinion. But again, for those of you who don't know, Janice Yamanaka has been present for every single one of the live streams we've done since we started the live streams. And I don't remember how long that is. Oh, another thing that I thought I would mention is we surpassed, this was a while ago, as far as number of episodes, our first one, I have the date on that, let me see. Our first episode 1, well, we called it episode 1, we don't number them anymore, but episode 1 was Atomic Horseradish, and that first aired on March 6th, 2015. So here we are 6 years later. We're 6 years later, and we are, as far as numbered episodes, and again, we don't number it, but I keep track of them. So as far as numbered episodes, we are at, let's see, we are at 509. So we just bypassed that. Now, if you count the specials, and by specials I mean like a holiday special, or the live streams, if you count the live streams and the specials, we're actually closer to, let's see, 685 episodes. So it's probably pointless to do any kind of like celebration or anything here, but maybe once we reach 1,000 episodes total, including live streams, maybe we'll do something. Maybe we'll do a kind of a big thing and a big get together. But just want to let you guys know that that's kind of where we are. Because like I said, we used to number them, and then we stopped taking the numbering off because we didn't want YouTube to start paying attention to the numbering and track them differently or something. So we don't number them. But again, we are at like 680. This live stream is 685. So that's where we are after 6 years. Thank you all for helping me do that. And I can see by John Cleese on the wall that we're getting ready to go. We have a minute left, but I'm just going to like idle banter for that 1 minute because it's going to change any second now. But again, I want to thank you all. We had some new people in the room here for the first time, and that was pretty cool. People are always welcome. A lot of them see me on Reckless Eating and come over from that. That's cool. They can see Matt here on a regular basis. I think we might have an episode coming out on Monday that features Q the Critic, who you guys see on Reckless Eating a lot as well. But I will remind you to check out other people's channels as well. So as far as live streams go, I know that the Trips from Canada, they do their live streams on Fridays. I think Janice Hero does hers tomorrow, Sunday. Reckless Eating, I think maybe doing a live stream right now. Tom has his live stream in 2 hours. So check them out. Also check out a lot of the people who are in here, like Janice Yamanaka, have their own channels and have some great channels. And again, I will say that I would not endorse them or recommend them if I didn't like their channels myself. So if you want to know some of the great channels, especially some of the people who are subscribers, and even some of the people that we've done collaborations with, then go to our YouTube page, and at the bottom of the YouTube page, you'll see a link, and it'll say featured channels. You click on that link, and that will give you the whole list of all the featured channels: Snackhead Cowboy, Wander Wisely, The Trips, Food Taster TV. And make sure you check out their channels. And when you do check out their channels, if you're logged into to YouTube, subscribe to their channels, and then click the thumbs up on the videos and leave comments, because it really helps. It really helps them build their channels. A lot of them, I've seen a lot of them building pretty quick, but a lot of them could use the help building channels. So if you go out there and you actually enjoy that, make sure you press the thumbs up and you leave a comment and you subscribe to their channel and everything, and every little bit helps. So. And do so like, if you're not subscribed to Trippy Food, do likewise. If you did like even the live stream, you can click the thumbs up on the live stream. So please, Pringles and Circus Peanuts. John, you're a cruel and heartless person. So I will tell everybody that again, especially now, especially where I'm in training for my new challenging technical job, that Saturday is the high point of my week, and I love the community that we have here and being able to interact with you guys. I hope that I'm informative, I hope that I'm educational, and I hope that you have some fun. If you're not, let me know. Leave a comment. Let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section of the live stream, and let me know. Am I being educational? Am I being fun? Am I being are you enjoying the live streams and the episodes in general? Please let me know, because feedback is very important to me. But in the meantime, everybody, please be careful. Please take care of yourselves. Please take care of others, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.